Welcome to Cruising In. And here we are in Portofino, Italy, the Italian Riviera. And this is a tender port for us today. There's no dock big enough to accommodate a cruise ship in Portofino, or I suspect any of the neighboring Italian Riviera towns. And so we came in on the tender, unloaded here, and then waited for our transport ferry to take us over to Santa Margherita. So as it turns out, the roads in Portofino are too small and windy to accommodate a tour bus. So when you come in and dock here, you have to take a ferry over to the neighboring town of Santa Margherita to be able to get on a tour bus. So that's what we did. But just take a look at some of the boats in the harbor. They are beautiful. Our objective today was to get over to Santa Margherita, hop on the tour bus, go to Nervi, Camogli, and we're going to have some focaccia al formaggio at a restaurant in Camogli. And of course, no day in Portofino or Santa Margherita or any of those small towns along the coast would be complete without having some gelato. So before we got back on the bus, we were sure to stop and grab some gelato. That fort up on the hill there was open to the public and provided some amazing views, panoramic views, which some of the passengers on the cruise ship took advantage of. We didn't get up there, but some did. So here we are on our ferry going over to the neighboring town of Santa Margherita. There's the Serenade of the Seas out there to your right, just disappeared off the screen. But we didn't tour any museums or do anything special today. We just wanted you to have a chance to see what the Italian Riviera looks like from the water. The water temperature was about 72 degrees. It was crystal clear, like the water at Catalina. It looked beautiful. In fact, there were some scuba divers going out when we were in Camogli. And these villas and apartments around here are very expensive. The tour guide told us the latest villa, small villa that's sold in Portofino was something like 34 million euros, and that renting of small apartment space is very expensive. Most of the locals hide during the day and don't come out until after all the tourists are gone. But as with many Italian towns, there's lots of restaurants and bars and trattorias and osterias to eat at. It did look like a really great place to come back and spend a week if you could find like a Airbnb or something to stay at. I have no idea what the weekly rental cost is, but I'll bet you it isn't cheap. So we're about to land on the dock in Santa Margherita. And we are very near Genoa. And of course, there has to be a statue of Christopher Columbus, who sailed the ocean blue in 1492. One of the things our guide told us was that they're great to have the recognition of Christopher Columbus discovering America, but it wasn't such a good thing commercially for Portofino and the surrounding towns, uh, because it changed the trade distribution so much and it cost them financially. So I guess Christopher Columbus was kind of a double-edged sword for him. So this is Nervi, and it's a beautiful place, nice beach, nice and quiet. Not very many people here today. There are a bunch of people out there in kayaks riding the waves in through that breakwater out there. And some of the folks took a stroll up around that point while I remained near the port there. Look at that beautiful water. Isn't it gorgeous? So here we're heading down the hill in Camogli to get to that restaurant where we're going to try that focaccia. And it's different than any focaccia we'd ever tried before. Usually when you think of focaccia, you think of a kind of a bread that's maybe an inch or inch and a half thick and has maybe cheese or olives or something on it. But this was completely different. This focaccia we tried today was so good. It was like a really, really thin pizza crust, maybe less than maybe a 32nd of an inch with a bunch of cheese on top and then another layer of pizza crust on top, baked in the oven until it was perfectly browned. It was on a pizza plate that was about 2 feet in diameter and then cut into small pieces. And it was really fantastic. We loved it. Look at that beautiful blue ocean. And there were some scuba divers out there. This seagull didn't seem to be too concerned that I got close to him. Okay, so this is the little harbor in Camogli. Little fishing village. Used to be a fishing village, and our guide told us that there used to be another row of buildings in front of the ones you see here along the beach. The mayor decided to tear them all down so they could actually have a beach. And it turned the town from a fishing village into a kind of a tourist town. And those folks that used to have no view of the ocean at all now have front row views of the ocean and the harbor, and it's really a beautiful place. You hear the bell going off. This was a medieval village that has survived all these years. You have to go through some cool passageways to get through the city along the beach walk there. That seemed like a great place to go spend a week or two. And the next shot that I'm going to show you is that's the name of the restaurant, Bagni Lido, where we went down, and it sits right on the beach. That's where we had that focaccia. It was fantastic. Now we have to go home and figure out where we can get some of that at home. Look at that beautiful blue water. Well, that's it for today's tour of the Italian Riviera. Beautiful place. And tomorrow we're going to head for Corsica. So we'll be in French territory. This is our last stop on Italian soil during the World Cruise. And tomorrow we'll start in Ajaccio, Corsica, and we'll be putting out another video to show you what our adventures are there.